Welcome to Morning Minutes with myself, Michael Burgio, Mark Novak, and two lovely special guests, Anmol and Gurdev. Today, we're going to be talking about the 2020 buzzword, which is pivot, pivot, pivot. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Lovely to be here.
Thank you for having us, guys.
Mark, I swear I didn't hear the word pivot prior to COVID-19, but at the moment now it's all I hear about. I hear it, and also how people want to apply it to their business in real estate. And then also there's a lot of people wanting how they can apply it to their business as well. What's your take on the new word of 2020?
I love it. I reckon it's and having our special guests on today, and guys, thank you for coming on. I think it's important that these guys, when I think pivot, I do think of these guys quintessentially, because you guys were in the mortgage business, saw a big gap in the property business and pivoted your business. So pivoting doesn't mean changing obviously your core business, but it means applying yourself to other products or services that need you or need service. And that's what you guys did. So can we explain from the top what you guys do and how you pivoted?
Absolutely. So diversification is what it is all about. So the as you said, the mortgage business was the existing business, which is we've been Gurdev's been a mortgage.
So I had the mortgage business since 6 years ago, and we saw a big gap in the market servicing our existing clients. We always had that in us. We want to open our own real estate one day, and basically 3 years ago we took the step and we made it happen.
So it was all about just servicing the needs of our existing clients, where they weren't getting that sort of level of service, because obviously, let's face it, everyone that is in real estate, for example, is doing crazy hours where we're staying up until 1 o'clock some nights just helping clients. So it was a need for our existing clients, which we put on, and from the likes of property management and sales, putting that on starting from scratch. It was definitely a daring experience that we did, a daring step, but one that has definitely paid off.
So when you mean sort of the gap, so you would be speaking to clients who you're getting their loans approved, and obviously you don't really get paid, or having a pre-approval is only half the step. They've actually got to buy something. So were you seeing just a bit of sort of a lag or friction or tension from clients that you have done approvals for, just finding an agent that can allow them to buy? Is that sort of where you saw that sort of gap? You're just like, man, can't I, you've done that. In your eyes, you're probably thinking, I've done the hard work. I've got them approved by a bank. How hard is it to sell them something?
That's right.
It was about getting the deal over the line. A number of pre-approvals would expire within the 90-day period, and then you have to go through the whole process again. And also a lot of the negotiation for my clients, when they're purchasing property with agents as well. And we have a background of doing developments as well. So we love property from the start, and we thought it goes hand in hand with our mortgage business.
So I think there's two parts of it. One was to actually find them a property to be able to, complete the loan transaction. And the second was, if it was an investment property, to manage that for them going forward as well. So having that trusted advisor looking after their asset that they've just purchased, it sort of made sense for them.
And also just bring everything in-house. I made it simple for the clients. Basically doing the finance,
one-stop shop.
The sales, the leasing, and basically it was all trust and relationships comes down to.
So guys, this can be applied to any business out there, for anyone that's watching, that's thinking about changing. And at the moment, there's been an enormous amount of change, and it's the opportunity where people can take and embrace that change. So what you guys are talking about is great, because if you could be in a different field, in any particular field in the marketplace, you're just about to make a move, you can use what you're saying as inspiration. And, if people out there that are watching are thinking, okay, hang on a sec, I reckon I do really well in this sector of the market. Rents are cheap to get into a property, so it's an opportune time. Government incentives are everywhere for everything at the moment. It's a wonderful time for people to be doing it. What advice would you give from what you guys learned?
Sure. Look, two key things for anyone starting up, what has really worked well for us, is managing your expenses well. We all get excited starting up a new business. Let's splash the cash on the branding, on getting the word out there and whatnot. But we took those strategic steps to ensure that, you know, especially the first 2 years when, you know, from a cash flow perspective from the new business, you know, it could be challenging. It's one of those things, if you stay on top of those expenses, keep them to a minimum, but do things that have a higher return on investments. For example, the live videos that we've been doing on social media, obviously it's costing nothing. Live is, you know, going everywhere. It's got a better reach, and, you know, that is becoming social media and just creating our branding throughout the digital medium. So expenses, definitely key. And secondly, networking. I think, you know, your local, for example, BNI groups or some of the other commerce groups that would be in the local areas, that would be key for us, as we all know, the way that we've met as well, real estate gym, Tom Houses. So, you know, just being able to tap into those professionals that you're learning from, and as well as other referral partners, that would be within the area. That would be something that would be the two key things that we've learned.
And basically, I think this business comes down to relationships, and the more conversations you have with clients, the more business you have. So I think in the start, you always got to work hard and long hours, and I think you have to be a little bit you've got to differentiate yourself in the market when you're coming in this game.
Yeah, right. You know what? Sorry, Michael.
I was just going to say, it's an interesting thing, like with when we had Mick on, I think it was last week, who does suits, works for Rembrandt Formal Wear. Expenses, outgoings was in his top 2 as well. Yeah. So I think it's when, especially if you think of real estate agents, they're typically a little bit extravagant. They probably buy things they can't afford, cars and suits. Yeah. And then when you convert that to starting up a business, you got to be quite sensible with your money as well. But I think it really applies to everybody as well. You want to at least set yourself up for that 1 or 2 years, because what you said is great, is like your time doesn't cost you anything really at the beginning. If you look at if you've got a business that you've done for 20 years, your time actually has a pretty high dollar value on it because you've got the turnover and the growth of the business. But at the beginning, it's really, you've got to leverage your time, and social media and the internet is a great way where it's very inexpensive, but you can get a lot of traction from it. So I think if companies were not on a social media platform before COVID-19, they have to be on one now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I like the word Michael used, extravagant.
Yeah,
and I thought that was a great word, because it was the extravagant gentleman, extravagant. But the you know what I always say, it's maximum impact, minimum cost. And that's when you're on a shoestring budget, you really want to make as much impact that you can with the minimum amount of cost that you don't want to expend. And digital has proven, being an early riser, no one's monetizing it really hard like newspapers towards the end. It's interesting.
What about your background? There's little 1%ers at the end of the day that make it count.
Yeah, right.
And Mel, your background was in centre management.
That's right. So I was actually at the Northern Beaches for about 5 years in Super Centre Belrose. Yes. So I was the marketing manager.
Oh wow! Didn't know that.
Yeah. You know, after what was that, sir? I missed that.
I didn't know that.
There you go. Yeah. So after completing HSC, I started off a property economics degree. Property's been in our family for forever. We've all, loved buying property, and my dad was also in mortgage broking previously as well. So I kicked off our property management degree. Got a graduate program with Colonial First State Property Management. At that time, they owned Chatswood Chase. So kicked that off. 6 months in, they wanted me to move to Chadstone in Melbourne. But at that time, we'd just been married. So I guess we met quite early on as well. And, being the power couple that we've aspired to be, it sort of started very early when we met in university days, and sort of had our goals set up that by the age of 30, we had to achieve a certain certain timeline. So that's what we did. And then, once I started off with in shopping centres, I went on to go to Super Centre Belrose. Within their portfolio, I managed Super Centre Caringbah in Tuggerah in Central Coast as well, and a number of others, like, for example, Moore Park in Alexandria as well. So a number of shopping centres that I manage. And lastly, before finishing up my shopping centre management career, I was with Rouse Hill Town Centre within their marketing team as well. So again, the way that, the way that the two of us work, and again, it is something that if you have, when you are working in a team, going with your strengths and using them to the best ability. So the way that we work together, given my marketing background, I am all about the creative side of things, the marketing, the exposure for the properties, and Gurdev being the tough cookie he's the closer.
We close the deals.
And what did you learn from there that you really wanted to improve on when you did your own venture of a business, and what sort of positives did you take away from it? So what are the sort of areas that you thought you could improve on and do better yourself, basically?
Yeah,
and
sure.
what did you learn from there?
Yeah, so look, customer service, I think definitely is the key. I mean, for shopping centres, the way that they operate, their key focus is increasing traffic and increasing sales at the shops that they have in the centre. So, and the way that they've done it is all about making it all customer centric. How do we understand who is coming in? How do we put on events, or how do we bring on shops and retailers that would benefit those? So that's the way that we've adapted to our business and applied to our business, is how can we make it more easier for the customer to do easy business with us? If they are requiring advice on other matters, how can we connect with other professionals to be able to provide that, those service? And, being that trusted advisor, I think that's the key that we've taken from that is, obviously they're coming in for, not just real estate, for other matters as well, and just overall customer service is the key.
And with finance, we only don't do residential; we do commercial, SMSF, personal car, so we do it all. So it's like basically a one-stop shop for your finance needs.
So it went from bringing people into the centre to bringing people into homes, basically.
Can I just give an example of how this has worked? So, ladies and gentlemen who are watching, we've got a business relationship with these guys. And it's formed off the back of digital and social media, which is something you've isolated as, getting out there and getting successful. One, that's how we know each other. We do refer business to each other on that basis. So let me give you an example of how powerful it is of what you guys have done. I'm sitting on a bike in Thailand doing a 535-kilometer ride, 100 kilometers a day. And the Indian guy pulls up next to me, and his name's Satish. And I'm like, hey, Satish. He goes, Mark. He goes, yeah, mate, I know you, mate. I said, what do you mean? He goes, mate, every time I go to join someone on Facebook, you're my mutual friend. He goes, you know every Indian person in Australia. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, it's not funny, mate. He goes, every time, he goes, you know so many Indians. And I'm sitting, and then I'm on my bicycle, I'm riding along. I thought, and we've done a lot of social media and digital media together. So it's built up our business and our network for someone across the other side of the country. Now, this guy was a real estate, one of the head realestate.com reps, and he was on the ride as well. So we didn't have any business that we'd done together, but what a powerful tool. So your business is not a business of 150 real estate agents that's been around for 50 years. Your business is a couple of years old, but the amount of impact that you've made to me and to my business, for someone to talk about that, it just shows you the power of your B2B, of what you guys have been doing. And it's amazing.
It's crazy, without even knowing it. Social media is like the new TV. People watch. So our phone is more than TV. So you got to be on it. You got to be a weapon.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And also even during the week, we spoke. You had a couple of clients that needed some help with some property. It's amazing that what you guys have done in such a short time. Have you guys been stressed at all the last couple of months, being a new business, and people watching this morning, thinking about their new business and pivoting? How have you guys been? Has there been pinch points the last couple of months, or have you just motored right through?
To be honest, because we've built such a solid base. If you have a solid base, I think anything that comes in your way will be pretty easy. So we've got the clientele, we had the pipeline, and to be honest, we've been absolutely pump through the last 2 months. We haven't felt it at all. Actually, we've been doing longer hours through the last 2-3 months in COVID.
So we made our focus helping people at this time. So from the three arms of the business, property management, sales, and finance, the two arms that we were heavily involved with in helping people were in property management. So our landlords, our tenants, having those conversations, trying to ease their stresses, and then in mortgages as well, we're refinancing,
Well, we just realized our clients had more time on their hands. They were
yeah, right.
So a big
energy.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Previously, it was taking some of our clients, 1 month to get all the documents together. All of a sudden, I'm getting documents in 1 or 2 days, and all of a sudden, we've got 30 hours.
Yeah.
So it was just absolutely crazy. So finance, we were under the pump, which was great.
But to answer your question about stress, I think it's one of those things that when you love what you do, nothing is stressful. And when you're together as well, and that's one of the other things when the couple is in the same business like you and Lisa are, you've got more of that, you can share those conversations and just get through it together. So when you're passionate about what you do, nothing is stressful.
As some friends say, is make passion your paycheck.
That's it.
One thing I can identify there is, and the importance of being diverse in many services, what you do, because you felt less of the pinch because you were diverse. You had sales, property management, rentals, and finance. Now, there's a lot of businesses out there. We'll speak real estate specifically because that's what we're in. But there's a lot of companies out there that would just do sales, or just do property management, or just do finance. And if you can put yourself in those shoes where, let's say, previous to COVID, you had 80% of your time in sales and 20 in finance, and then sales dropped down to 10. If you didn't have that other sector to go to under your banner, you probably would have been a lot more vulnerable. So the message out there to a lot of businesses, think of your business and think of either how you were, because I think there's a message, a lot of people who were diverse in what they offered, they've been busier than they've ever been. But if they take a step back and go, I used to do this for 40 hours a week and now I'm doing that. There's a lot of businesses out there that only do the one thing. And the message out there to them today is, if you do that one thing, how can you add one or two other lanes to offer more, but stay within your lane? It's not like going from making pasta and then you're going to a totally different cuisine or Chinese. How can you add more dishes under your banner? Because I think that the worst thing people do is that they know they need to do more, but then they just do a full 180 where what you guys have done, you've done it all under the same banner and in the same sort of market, just little things added different services. So I think that's the key thing. People need to look forward coming out. If they hadn't done it prior to COVID, which you guys were fortunate you did, you offered many services and different styles of loans as well. Like where I'm seeing now, the commercial market's a lot slower, so I can do a lot more residential. But if I only did one, you're going to be quite stuck.
You're going to get caught out.
So the message for people going to 2021, 2022, have multiple services you offer that are a little bit different. So when one pulls away, you can focus and double down on the other. I think that's the big message today.
What are the takeouts, guys? What are the takeouts from what you guys are saying? Like if we could isolate, so love, being passionate about what you do is why you guys have been successful in the start of your company. What are the other things?
You got to be hungry. You got to be hungry. You can't train that, can you? Sorry?
No.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't train that.
It's got to come within. You want to be number one. You know what I mean? Which can't be taught.
You want to wake up in the morning and look forward to conversations with people. If you're stressing about or dreading, having that,
it's not going to happen. I mean, even now we're doing longer hours. We're doing one shift in the morning, probably from 7 to 5, and then we're doing a night shift from 9 to 2, which we're doing 18, 19 hours, right? Which probably sounds crazy. And
wow.
We've been doing it for the last 3 to 4 months, right? But we love what we do, and we make things happen, and that's what our clients love about us.
And we love a challenge. If there's anything that we don't know about, we want to find out, and we want to be able to add that to
And next year, like my next financial game plan is to hit 100 million. We want to write $100 million in mortgages in the next financial year. We're close to it this financial year, and that's our game plan next year. And I think we'll make it happen. So
having those goals motivate you as well. So I think that's another key. And talking about goals, the company that I was with at Supercentre Belrose, Aventus Property, the CEO of that, Darren Holland, oh my God, he was obsessed with goal setting. The whole company would get together every quarter. We would have set goals. We would have stretch goals as well. And every quarter there was accountability. You had to meet up. All 30 of us would get together from different parts of Australia as well, and talk about what we've achieved and what that means and what's the next goal. So I think having that ingrained within you, it sort of motivates you to look forward to, okay, well, this is the milestones I need to get to, and what the bigger picture is, to grow the business. So that's definitely.
What's a stretch goal?
So stretch goal is something that, a goal, say, for example, would be to increase your, property management business by 50%. A stretch goal would be by 75%. So it may not be realistic, but it's sort of that extra, it gives you that kick that, hey, if I've done this and if I achieve that, it was just another one of those lines that you draw in the sand, go, okay, what if I did this, and how will that impact my business?
So, we had one goal in mortgages last year was to double our mortgage book in one financial year, which we've done basically even in the COVID environment. And next year double it again. We just build that relationship with our clients. Some of our clients we're talking to 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, which probably sounds crazy, right? But we've just basically
shift work, so that's
some
what
of
they're
them shift work. So I've positioned that way. Now they're calling me 12 o'clock at night, which is normal, right? And we're getting deals done in the morning. And
But you've set that stage with the clients that you can have those conversations. Like they work like that, you work like that.
So we never sleep. Like as you say, Mark, your tagline, we never sleep, mate. I'm telling you, we
love it. Absolutely love it.
And another thing, I think a big thing out of it is also listening. So when I remember what you guys said initially, when you saw you were able to identify a market that you guys could go into because you listened to the client, you heard the good things and the bad things. So I think listening is listening to your client is a big thing.
People want to be heard. You want to, as Tom Pennell says, you want to be problem solvers. Like how can you put this client in a better position at the end of the day?
Yeah.
If you can make that person go from A to B in a more smoother transition, they'll go for you 10 out of 10. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the other takeaway is managing expenses. Don't overspend. So
basically, you got to spend where you think you can. You think you can basically keep up with it, bang for buck. So luckily we had the mortgage business for 6-7 years. We had that solid foundation. Even with our commercial premises, we bought it with lease it. So it's all about having that strong base, and then you can really explode in whatever business you want to do.
So how do you spend your money?
So how do you not overspend?
How do you spend it? Do you buy cars?
How do you spend it? What do you do to enjoy it?
We're looking at new cars this week, so hopefully there's a new car coming up shortly. So
hey,
what are you going to get?
I've been looking at
the like Panos
and the Tesla.
No,
I'm looking at the Porsche, the Cayenne.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. So you gotta reward yourself as well, eh? So been in the BMW too long now, so it's time to change the game.
Yeah.
But that's pretty incredible, guys. That you've worked so hard and you've started your business and stuff like that. That you can enjoy the fruits. That's why I asked, what are you doing to enjoy the fruits? It's obviously conducive and working for you guys, which is wonderful. So we've talked a lot about new business, but have you got some lessons for old business? We are talking about pivoting as well today. So how would you recommend an old business pivot? Because you probably look at older brokers or older real estate agents and go, oh my God, you should do it this way.
I think, the key word is pivot. And I think the fact that, using digital is the key for when you're, an established business, you feel that you're, already, it all, or, you're not open to new ideas. Being on digital, being on social, and sort of learning from some of the other professionals within your industry as well to see what they're doing different that you can adapt to your business and apply to your business. I think that's a key. But I guess a key takeout overall is, just being more active on social media, as you guys are as well. And, for example, the likes of that we've started our Paris and Baz cast, bringing on those guest speakers to talk about, if we don't have enough information to provide to our clients about a particular product or a service, if we're bringing on the guest speakers to talk about that, and then standing out and being consistent with the way that we are being on social, it allows you to be that go-to person. So if you are an established business, you already have a lot of wealth of experience and things to share. So starting on like a segment, like a regular segment every week or every day, like you guys do Morning Minutes, I think it helps establish that credibility within your brand and bring on that new business. Because I kid you not, from a prospecting point of view, I hand on heart, I can't say that we're making phone calls. It's incoming business, and it's all happening because of the way that we are providing the information on our social channels. I mean, even the likes of, I had a message on Facebook the other day. Someone was stuck overseas and they're a tenant, and their agents are wanting to terminate their tenancy, and they're calling us for help, going, what do we do? So, just being that trusted advisor for a number of different people.
So something you just... I've got a bad connection. Sorry. Something you just mentioned was you don't do a lot of outbound phone calls. That's something that all old-fashioned real estate agents do. Do you mean that you're not actually like you're letting digit?
Yeah. We basically built a brand where we get incoming calls. We're attraction agents. So we're not making the outgoing calls, which sounds a bit crazy, but
for a new business, I mean, you want to. But I think the tagline here, like Michael has also said, is that when you're in your domino days, instead of prospecting for new business, you were marketing for new business. Yes. So that's the approach that we've taken, is how can we market, how can we build our brand to be that attraction agent to bring on those clients and show them what we can do for them, show them how we can help them by the information we're providing, and naturally.
And people love to be educated, don't they? You become that authority. You become on many fronts. And I think a key thing with social media, it's not just about posting how good you are and look at my results. It's also adding value on educating people, because then they will follow you long term. I find if you're just posting how good I am and look at this to buy, look at I just sold this, they will follow you probably while they're looking to buy. But then as soon as they've done that transaction,
I don't know,
they stop, because you're offering no value to that content going forward. So I think that's a big thing, and you guys do that with your podcast. Did you just fall into that and got response? Let's do that, or was that a thing from the outskirts where you're like, let's add a different value?
Yeah, sure. So the way that it came about was on the request of one of our clients. So we used to do a lot of market updates, which we still do, but not as consistent. So I think this Paris and Baz cast had taken over that. We had someone talking about, in the market update, we were talking about negative gearing. At that time, with the changes in the government, there was talks about that. And they said, what are the impacts? And we started off, we said, hey, well, look, we want to able to find out more about that as well. So we reached out to one of our buyers agents, Arjun Paliwal, to come on and discuss what his view on negative gearing was, on the changes that were coming up, and what he would recommend. And that's how it just started. So and then we thought, hang on, this is really this is adding value. How can we do this on a regular basis? What do we do? And then we just started off approaching our network again for those that we can, from a property management point of view. We had the smoke alarms person come through, landlord insurance person come, and promote the fact that this is the 3 services we provide. So it was always about, the Paris and Baz cast is where we bring to you new guest speakers every week to discuss topics that impact property management, sales and finance, the 3 services we provide. So it was always indirectly reinforcing the services that we are providing, but also, enhancing the business that was coming on, and talking about whatever service that they would, how they would add in value as well. So it just started out of the blue, and then it just sort of, they just promoted it.
Yeah. It's all about giving great content to clients.
And the 2.0, version 2.0 for Paris and Baz Cast is all via Zoom. So, initially we had everyone coming into the office, which was great. They all loved the big table, as you guys have on as well. But this year it's all about how can we keep it efficient or digital. And we had, it's all through Zoom.
And I think a big thing as well, where to get started, people overthink it.
Yeah.
So, and they also they don't realize what's simple knowledge for them is very valuable to people outside your little circle of what you do. So for people watching going, where do I start? Think of probably the 10 most easy, common things you talk about each day with clients or internally, or the 10 most common things you do on a regular basis, and then make a video around that, which is simple. Go live on Facebook, do a Zoom with someone who does that as well. But I think it's where people get a little bit caught up on where to start, and they try and make it too perfect as well, and then it never happens. So I think that's a big tip for people, especially how you guys said you fell into it. It was really by everyday things you were coming up with or were interested in, and then you just made the content around that.
Yeah, knowledge is power, and at the end of the day, you got to back yourself. If you back yourself, you do it confidently.
For example, the cleaning business that you guys were talking about previously, all they were doing was just talking about before and after shots of cleaning, which was simple, but it's getting the message across. It's like, oh wow, who do I think about when I'm thinking about cleaning? These guys. So it's simple things like that.
Awesome. Anything else you want to add on to this, Mark? I think it's almost a take.
No, I just had a fight with the car wash guys.
I know.
Is it because you got the new van?
I got a new van and an old van, and I'm the old van went back into the shop. The new van. So it was I was trying to quietly put my car through the car wash and have a fight and discuss it with this guy while you guys were running the show. My apologies. I thought I was just going to coast straight through and they were going to give me the thumbs up. So sorry about that. Bye.
I'll just before we finish off, Norwest, how's your property market going? Residential sales up for unit sales down. What do you see in the past month or two, and what do you think will happen in the next month or two? Just a little quick.
Yeah. So look, market is stable. It hasn't dropped off significantly. There is a lot of mixed, types of properties that are available. One of the newer properties, for example, Esplanade is a new building that has just finished and is in the process of being occupied by tenants and owners, as well as commercials. We're seeing a great uptake in that. In terms of overall transaction, I think the numbers as consistent with the rest of the
transactions are happening. Dollar-wise, I think there's not much a price drop at the moment. There's limited stock on the market. Quality homes, they are still getting snapped up. So we're not seeing that decline in the market that is being talked about. So which is great. So,
and in terms of future, what's happening? There has been DA approvals for a number of other dwellings as well. This area is growing in terms of population naturally, because we are in the Norwest Business Park, which is attracting obviously Woolworths have their head office here, and a number of other businesses have their base. So that is, being able to work close to, live close to work is attracting those people that are moving into the area as well. So I don't see a massive drop.
I don't see it.
I actually got a question for someone asking about the Norwest yesterday. Hey mate, a client of mine is nearing completion of a level 3 60 square meter commercial space in the Norwest Business Park. What would that be worth leasing? 60 square meters.
60 square. The going rate on new buildings is about $4 to $4.50 per square meter, plus GST plus outgoings. So, which is great. I think that's a lot closer to city rates. The sale rate is about 9 to 10,000 a square meter.
And sale 9 to 10. Beautiful. Hey, that's convenient. So what's the 1 bedroom cost brand new in your area?
Residential unit, 1 bedroom in the newer buildings, we're looking at about $750.
Beaches.
Yeah, two bedroom, 850, 900. But look, They're Rolls
They're quality
Royces. They're
homes,
quality, but
yeah.
they're
So
next level.
Malfa are the developers.
Yeah, we do a lot of work with Malfa, and whatever they do is cutting edge, latest technology-wise, and they're unbelievable. They basically developed the whole Norwest Business Park and a lot of the residential landscape around here. My main.
Because what's the big draw card
That's
people buy in Norwest? It's
We call Bella Vista Waters the Vaucluse of the Northwest.
so
It's not far off on the pricing either.
Yeah,
It's not, yeah.
So average land value here is about 1.6 million for a 700 square meter block.
Wow.
That sells, from 3 to 3.5, 3.6 million. So we're talking big dollars here. So yeah, it's great.
It makes me when people say Northern Beaches isn't affordable, and when I hear Norwest is actually in some parts more expensive, it's quite interesting.
Exactly.
Imagine we had the water here. We got the lake here, but imagine we had.
I know.
Wow.
But it just shows potential.
Make a man-made one.
It shows the potential growth the Northern Beaches have, because if you look at Norwest, their draw card, correct me if I'm wrong, is your access to the city and your accessibility to mainly all the highways, and that's what Northern Beaches does not have. So if we add that with the tunnels to the city and the freeways, and you can just see the potential growth the Northern Beaches have if we get the access and the convenience Norwest and the business park have. It's going to be a suburb to watch, an area to watch.
I think the people that love about the Hills District is the great quality schooling and the open lifestyle, the greenery, the shopping centres, the
schooling.
So it's got basically everything a young family needs to grow, and it's got great access to the city and Parramatta and yeah.
Perfect. I think that's a take. Anything else, guys?
No, that's it.
No.
Thank you so much for having us. I'm always, on the other end making comments, and today I'm finally on there. That's another goal ticked.
Thank you very much. It's always good to have you guys on, and love bouncing ideas and what's happening in the market with you guys. And it shows the importance of working. Just because we're in real estate doesn't when it's not dog eat dog out there. We're in the same industry. We work together. We share. It just improves us. We become smarter. Our networks become bigger, and we can the end result is helping clients like the client who want to know about Norwest. It's just that's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
exactly right. Thank you for having us, guys.
No problem.
Keep killing it, guys. Keep killing it.
Thank you.
Thank you.